Good morning, afternoon, YouTubers. What's up, everybody? Going to work. Wanted to talk about the movie Time Freak. Watched it yesterday, just bored and randomly looking for something to fill my time while the kids were sleeping. But pretty cool movie. Came out in 2018, last year. Time travel movie that slipped under my radar. I usually am pretty good about watching time travel movies. This one, it was a limited release apparently in 2018, so I just never heard about it, I guess. Hopefully some of you guys have heard about it. It's stars Asa Butterfield. I don't know who that is. I'm sure somebody out there will know. And Sophie Turner. In the Dark Phoenix series, she's Phoenix in all the X-Men stuff. She's in Game of Thrones, I believe. It was a good movie. The plot is, it reminded me a lot of Butterfly Effect. That was the one. I mean, there's tons of time travel movies and tons of people going back in time to try and fix something. But it reminded me of Butterfly Effect in the sense that, and this is why I put up the poll yesterday that's still live, he couldn't go, but he tried, but he couldn't go back and change just one thing. He had to change another thing and another thing, and once he realized that, you know, what the effects were in the future, he would change that and go back and do that. So that's why it reminded me a lot of Butterfly Effect, because there was a lot of stuff being changed in that movie too. But the plot revolves around him. At the beginning of the movie, you see that his girlfriend has texted him saying, "We need to talk," and that ends up being her breaking up with him. And his heart broke so much. He's a physicist genius apparently as well, but his heart broke so much he came up with the theorem to build a time machine, and from there spawned him trying to fix the relationship with her before it would make it to that moment of her breaking up with him. But once he fixed that, the longevity of the relationship, I think it was like 6 years later or something like that, but there was a time gap. Once you get to the point where he's done enough in the past to fix that text from ever appearing, which means that they never broke up, or at least not at that time, he couldn't control himself. He got to the point where anytime they would have a fight or he would do something wrong, he would go back in time the few minutes and you fix it, you know, try to do everything he could to fix it. But he realizes later in the movie that that's really taking away, you know, her choice to be in the relationship. You know, maybe he realized maybe they weren't meant to be together and that she would just never be happy, because towards the end she questions why they never fight, and she thinks that if they fought more often, that maybe that she would be happier and they would resolve things in the relationship, and she started to feel a little empty, and she didn't obviously know why, but she knew something was going off and something was off in her life. So she stopped doing the things that she loved, and it stems, in my opinion, and it sounded like in the lead character's opinion, it stemmed from him taking away some of her control, so they wouldn't fight. They liked almost exactly the same things. It was too perfect, and I think she was catching on to that. But like I said, of course she didn't know why. But it was a good movie. It's something to think about as far as time travel goes. You know, if it were to ever become real, or you thought you could make a time travel machine, you know, could you stop? Could you make your life good in going back one time and changing one thing? You know, and if that changed your life, could you accept the ramifications of whatever it was that you changed? You know, if I go back in time and I make myself win the lottery, do I change who I am at the same time to some kind of rich douchebag or something like that? And then in turn, do I go back and change something else to try and stop that? You know, and I think at the end he realized that he needed to stop. He was an addict. He needed to go back in time to make it so that he would never remember how to build the time machine. And so there was a little bit of a twist at the very end after he made that decision. I'm not going to spoil the movie because I think you should go watch it. It's fun. It's different. It's sad. In my opinion, it was kind of a sad movie, but it was fun. It was a lot of you get to watch him relive some moments about 5 or 6 times with his buddy. But it's fun. Like I said, you should definitely go check it out. I enjoyed it. Was it a perfect movie? Probably not. I know somebody out there can review it a little bit more in depth as far as character building and tropes and things like that. But I enjoyed the movie. I think you should go watch it. 2018 is when it came out. Sophie Turner, Asa Butterfield. It's called Time Freak. Go check it out. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I know that there was a Gabe and a Doyle video out today. I have not listened to those yet, so I have no idea what they're talking about. But make sure you go check them out too. Like I said before, subscribe, because these are not the only they might be the only videos going up right now, but they're not the only videos that are going to go up on the YouTube channel. So there are other videos that you have not seen yet, I promise. So check them out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that. We record this Sunday. You can always shoot us topics on that stuff or feelings on all of that. I'm not quite sure what pop culture classic we're watching. I'll get that out from Gabe today. But shoot us an email, outsidethelongbox@gmail.com. Send us a Facebook message or interact with some of the posts on Facebook. We've been getting a lot of interaction. I like it. Facebook.com/thinkingoutsidethelongbox. You can send us a voicemail at 970-573-6148. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at outsidelongbox. That's pretty much it, man. Go watch Time Freak. I promise you'll like Sophie Turner. She's funny in this movie. I don't know much about Asa Butterfield, but I enjoyed it. Go watch Time Freak. I'll see you guys later.